He does.
It is 6:31 p.m. and present are directors Crystal and Pat Coons and Joanna McVeigh. Absent Bo Reynolds and Zach Reynolds. So administrators report.
Okay, does anyone outside of my written report have any questions or any clarifications you would like? I have some follow-up reports for item C and item B, item C. So if you have any questions about those, you do have an attached report to clarify some of that information.
Where is the 2026?
First page, March 26th, highlights.
Oh, those highlights. I'm like looking for something else. My apologies. I looked it up, but can you share just briefly what the AB 572 and how it relates to us and water?
Yes, that's the one I had a brief report on last month. It's we can no longer water plots of grass that are not recreation activity.
Okay.
So mow strips, sidewalk frontage, that kind of stuff.
6:33 p.m. Director Reynolds is now present.
For the North Lot Business Watch meeting, any updates, anything that is relevant to our district, any conversations about the PDID that's coming or?
Emily's leaving.
Where's she going?
What?
California. Her husband's got work down there.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and all their families down there. So she's passing the torches.
To who, do we know? For the PIVOT?
She in Kenya,
Kenya
I got
Black,
2 artists. Will be taking some donations.
she's the owner of the Black Widow.
So she
Oh,
did your
sorry.
Kenya Bell, but wait,
I
that's
didn't think that
that's
was-
taking over this new portion of the PBID, not the North Lot. Okay. It's to establish a PBID within the quarter that's not protected by the Antelope ABC codes or the North Lot PBID. Any conversations about that?
At that last meeting, there wasn't an awful lot about the PBID that was discussed. There were a lot of different business owners there that shared some experiences they're having. The DA's office was able to address some of those, as was the sheriff's department and ZP.
I want to know how your training was, your financial stability training.
It was a lot. I mean, it was
It looked
two
like,
2.5 days of very intensive information. But so the way I wrote this was more like, this is what the presentation was. It doesn't necessarily mean this is what we are doing or will be doing, but I was pleased to see that a lot of things that she brought up and shared with the group when she was leading the workshop, we're already doing. The very first day there was talk, and when you review your budget and are you holding any debt, things like that. We have no debt. We have ample reserves in 3 different accounts. So we're not carrying any debt at all. And we're not every district, not every municipality can say those things. But really, it was just an outline and a roadmap to really digging deep into what we offer. Is it what we should be offering, how we offer it, what we're subsidizing. Again, I was encouraged by the things that we subsidize are the things that really matter. And there was an exercise where we rated it from 1 to 10, all the different things that a park district or a recreation department can offer. And it aligns really, really closely to what we're doing right now. So, and there's, I put that on the second page of my report. Parks and open space, recreation classes, facility rentals, community events. And, it kind of aligns very, very, like I said, very closely what we're doing. Our parks and open space are there for everybody to enjoy. We don't charge fees for them to use it. It's a huge community benefit. And that's what we use our public, our public dollars for, to keep our parks looking as good as they can and as safe as they can be. With our recreation programs, we keep the fees moderate. We subsidize. We have a good scholarship program. And that is a shared benefit between the individuals and the community. It was just, there was a lot of things that I was able to connect to, see that, we're doing those things. But, there's some things I'll be pursuing and maybe some exercises that I'll share with the board and ask for your input on, as well as the staff, so that we can align ourselves as 2 different parts of our district to make sure we're headed in the right direction.
I like the bringing of the community value cost, like keeping that at the, like, not our North Star, but just a priority for us.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And that was a great conversation we had. It was a worthwhile experience, I'll put it that way.
okay, yeah, it looked interesting with what you wrote up there.
There is a part 2, but it's coming up this summer, like in June. I just don't think I'll have the time on my calendar to go to that one. But it'll be offered again in the very near future.
Could you send one of your other peoples?
Well, they want to go to part 1, because part 1 really lays the groundwork. Part 2 is a little more intensive about the same concept.
Makes sense.
So.
And we're considered local agency officials as well, right?
Yeah.
In addition to you, so we're expected to meet this mandate by the 2028 deadline as well.
That was my next question I have on there, stupid.
Oh,
SB
yeah.
827.
Yeah. So it is a new Senate bill that would pass financial training requirements. This will become the 3rd one that elected officials and designated staff like myself and our senior staff will have to go through some financial training requirements. Now, when you dig into this and you look at it, it doesn't truly say this is the financial training you'll do, but it gives you some options. Like if one of you had gone, and because I went to this financial sustainability, I probably already met that requirement. So it's those type of things, but I was able to find some stuff that I put in your packet. The knowledge base form that CSDA provides. It kind of gives you an overview of the bill, key requirements, who must be trained, what is a local agency official. And I was encouraged to see that there is a free webinar coming up in June that, because you are all CSDA members, because we are a member agency, you could sign up and take the webinar for free and knock out your requirement for the next 2 years. As it is right now, everyone here, you have 2 years to complete it because you were here before 2026, January 26, whatever the date is. Now, we have two open seats coming up in November, and we're hoping our incumbents stay with us. But if we were to get new board members at that time, and I'm still trying to get a solid answer, if the two of you do run again unopposed, does that make you new board members because it's a new term? Or does that make you, anyway, you'll have either a year, 2 years to complete it or a year to complete it. So, and then there's also some in-person workshops. That's the kind of the blue tinge flyer, navigating governance and finance in special districts. And they're being offered up and down the state of California. Obviously a little bit more involved if you're going to have to travel to one of those. So the webinar, I think, makes a really good option for local. And I did reach out to Capri because they have a training. They partner with an agency that does a lot of our training. I think some of you might have taken your anti-harassment training or your ethics training through Vector Solutions. And he said within the next 4 to 6 months, they'll have this on their platform as well, where we sign you up, give you the login, and you're ready to go. You can do it at your leisure.
You'll bring it to our attention.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as I know, you'll know. But there are some dates now if you were interested in knocking it out early. But you have until January 2028 to meet this initial
I could be dead by then.
requirement. So.
No, okay, yeah.
Any other questions about SB 827?
What? Why do they think it's such a value?
I will
For us
not.
board
I
members, we're
will.
just elected board members making $105.
Board of directors is supposed to provide oversight and guidance on the administrator. If you don't understand.
No, we do it by going through the budget and everything. Yeah, I mean, we only have X amount of money we can spend anyways.
Well, yeah, but
I think it's probably just to establish a basic knowledge so that when we're having discussions about, and not just budgeting, but
I think it's a good thing.
all the other financial things that we have to address, it just gives you a basic knowledge, much as the ethics and the anti-harassment trainings do. Okay, but yeah, we will keep you apprised of opportunities or different ways you can meet this obligation. And I've said it twice now. You can knock it out now, or you can wait till.
But I like that webinar in June. I mean, that would, yeah. So, sign us up, Gary.
Gee, we can do it ourselves. It's
We
free.
can get to the login information.
Yeah, there's a secretary on the board that can do it.
Ah, that's a good point.
I'm
What's that?
You're lucky. I'd show you something.
Just under any updates on an audit company and any other bids for the turf.
I took the turf stuff out. I've been looking for different companies that provide it. We have actually gotten some solicitations on other matters from a few playground related manufacturers, and they also offer turf. But I'll be spending more time on getting more detailed information from them. I haven't really got too deep into the auditing process yet, but it's on my list of priorities to do.
Did you inquire with other districts as far as who they're using?
Yeah, I've already completed that. I solicited 9 different district administrator GMs. I got 7 responses. 3 districts are using Larry Bain and his company. Larry was our auditor way back. And I may just kind of set up a time to meet with him and see if he's available and, you know, what the terms would be, those type of things.
Okay.
There were three that had at least one district, you know, one of our neighboring districts. And then another firm had two districts and three of them had Larry Bain and Associates.
All right.
And Terry worked with his team in the past for the auditing process, and it was a pretty good relationship back then.
Crystal?
My last question is about Jesse, the infill coordinator. How'd that conversation go regarding the water ave specifically related to us? And I think it says on the sixth y'all met. Any updates from that and what's
Yeah, I met
what's
with
the board?
I met with her this past Monday. The three of us sat in with Jessie Shen she's the infill coordinator at Sacramento County. And her role and her job and what she's establishing is how to bring parks and recreation opportunities to the North Walk corridor. But in relation to partnering with development, housing development, business development. So, and I spent some time telling her, you know, we've had three different organizations come to us that are either Sacramento County or Sacramento County related, all about the North Platte corridor. We've got the pedestrian safety and bike safety one for BK or DKS months ago. We've had the big project that addresses, you know, PFE all the way down to South Platte and now this one. And I said, how are you different? And it was kind of a good answer that put it in perspective for us. She said, well, and I shared concerns that our board has had on those other projects that, you know, could have a component that takes property away from business owners and homeowners. And her response was, well, that's not us. What we're looking to do is bring things in for our residents, for our business owners, and for our homeowners. So, you know, she asked a lot of questions about how we do our business, what we do. She asked about developer fees and how they're related, and we'd be interested in having some flexibility with developer fees if someone did come in and build an apartment complex or single family homes, things like that. And I said, well, we've never given away our impact fees, but we could certainly talk about partnering with development. You know, perhaps if a recreation amenity or park amenity was built, perhaps we could take on the maintenance. It was a very, very broad stroke discussion. But when I met with her Monday, we really kind of honed down on a few things. And then, you know, her message was, you know, this is just starting. They have some state grant money they want to be able to tap into. And it's at the very beginning of her process. And just like us, she's looking for opportunities for community outreach. And that's when she mentioned if, you know, it'd be possible to come to the board and make a presentation. And we're looking at probably June, the June 11 meeting. That could be an awfully busy meeting already, just because it's when we approve the budget and a bunch of other things going on. So it could be pushed to July. But I think she has a good message to share with you and what their vision is, and in her role as infill coordinator. It's really trying to maximize these open spaces all up and down Watt Avenue to benefit the residents of the town.
So she should probably visit the North Walk Business Watch meetings too.
She's aware of it. She's going to start going to those more. She has been to. She went on a business walk with them once. She hasn't been to the monthly meetings yet, and she's going to reach out to the McClellan Business Watch as well.
Okay. Moving on, item D, Parks and Facilities Report.
Good evening, everybody. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I only have one thing to adjust on here, and that would be the installation of the partitions at Rock Park will be now the third week of Rock this second.
Partitions?
Yes, the restroom partition.
Oh,
We took down
yes.
nasty old ones from putting.
Right, okay. Was the debris under the bridge up at Sierra Creek taken care of and removed?
There's nothing we can do about that. We're not allowed to meet there, but we contacted Sacramento County and Department of Water Resources and see what they can do. I don't have high hopes for that.
What do you mean by that? Like for what they can do, we're not allowed.
we're not allowed to go down into the creek bottom to take care of it,
So it's like a 311 county service for them to, okay.
to come out and take care of that.
Several years ago, Department of Water Resources, it got so bad, I mean, there were multiple residents set up in the creek bed itself. It's hidden, it's hardly ever full, it has any water, anyway. They came out, after our, repeated reports of the trash and everything else going on, and took out tons and tons and tons of garbage from the creek bed. There's nothing been done like that since then. So I'm glad Kevin's taking the initiative on this and reached out to him.
I thought I saw in the report Lone Tree Oak was listed in the activity. Or Lone Oak Park, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know if it's been changed, but just ask if they could please be a little mindful. And then are they also under the directives of taking pictures for our proof, the graffiti, the debris and all those things, do they capture? And just for us as well?
Are you speaking now about Night Watch?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have not asked Dean specifically for that, but I do get a lot of photos from Dean.
Okay.
I can tell you, in fact, I was sitting in my office and I have that big picture window, and there was a young man in a tech vest, and I thought he was a Night Watch employee, but I wasn't sure. And he was walking the perimeter of our building, snapping pictures. And I said, Dean, do you have a young man, beard, kind of stocky? He's taking pictures of my building here, and he's like, yeah, we do that all the time. They document what it looks like, and if things were to change or be damaged. So I'm assuming he's doing it wrong.
Okay.
On the 5-day break in work for reasons unknown, that was kind of ambiguous, like,
Well,
who was doing the work?
it is MRC, and Thomas Oaks is the installer for that particular project, Carl. Been a considerable amount of delay. I sent him another text, but email yesterday just saying not in the progress that I've expected in this park. And he is giving me the excuse that, well, I'm behind on my other projects because of the previous delays with the weather. I, as much as I can, being as professional as I can, well, that's really not my problem. Once we start a project like that, we need to see some movement on it.
Did you get any notice that the work was gonna be stopped for 5 days? So the communication is crap as well.
From them, yes.
For a little context, Game Time / MRC did the projects at Ridge Point and Chardonnay. And the same contractor installed those play structures, team installed those play structures. The Ridge Point project was completed in August of 23. The Chardonnay project was supposed to be done almost concurrently to Ridge Point. It wasn't completed till the last day in November of that year. And the excuse for that was that they were short of some hardware, some pieces, small pieces, nuts and bolts. And they waited till they went through all the inventory they had and then ordered replacements. The replacements took 12 weeks to get here.
Oh my.
And you're gonna ask, well, why are we using them? Well, this is the project that was earned from the Healthy Play Initiative grant. We got a 50% off a very, very nice play structure. With that comes, we partner with Game Time and MRC, who is their local rep, and they assign the construction crew. So
Well, they're the ones that need to know that improvements could be made. I mean, I wouldn't mind so much a 5-day break, but not knowing why, not being told at all. I think the people selling the playground equipment ought to know, because that's a definite no-no.
they definitely know from us.
Okay. Did you have anything else on that?
Yeah. I would love if y'all could share the pictures of the ADA improvements at Cave Park. Those are lovely pictures to share and brag and boast. I haven't seen
Oh, I
them.
mean, like online or on the website?
Yeah, like what? We're really improving our parks, and apologies if I did miss it. And then where did we get the free chips for Brock Park from?
Smut. So once I got a hold of Mountain F Enterprises and Utility Tree Company, I have not let go of that contact and I talk to them regularly. It's the same program we did at Freedom when we entered, put all those chips underneath oak trees. If you drive by Brock right now, there's probably 80 to 100 yards of chips waiting to be put in the parking lot as well as on the hills. So it's a great partnership.
I love that truck, that full time.
It's free, my friends.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. Can
Put her on the pool.
you elaborate on, you said there were some concerns found that you'll have to address sooner than later. With regard to the community center roof. After you elaborated on the electrical.
Absolutely. And you'll see as we get further into the meeting, our little bit of request for some funding. When we got the roof off, there were some deficiencies in the electrical that was done with the HVAC units.
Right, saw that.
It's likely now that we've explored it further that we will have to rerun all the electrical to those units from the panel. With new code that's come in at the beginning of the year, you can no longer create splices and electrical lines. You have to remove them. There was also, I think I mentioned in there's a little bit of arc damage as well as some water damage, and those lines have to be replaced entirely. Again, just fixed from point A to point.
And have we gotten any estimates on what we're looking at with that?
I did. Like I said, it was about something that $1,000. The right, Scott? For the new wires.
That's the electrical issue you're referring to.
Currently, for our rooftop, yes.
So we don't have any licensed electricians on
On our staff.
our staff.
Who's that?
I have
Lucky
a
to have a purpose. Yes.
So first is just kind of like a pet peeve of mine. So with replacing the partitions, will you make sure it's those partitions that don't have the gaps in them? I don't know if you like, even in our restroom, you can see that like some of the partitions have little gaps in there. Like, can you make sure?
I looked into that, Bo. I will tell you that it was 4 times the amount that I'm paying.
Wow.
So that was not an option for a proper. So that would be something that I would entertain for a major capital improvement. If we were to redo all the restrooms in the community center or something like that, we could put that for fun. It was $4 grand for
4 times more or 4 grand more?
4 times the amount.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. So not to put Director Crystal on the spot, but she and I got a chance to look at the areas for the dog park a few weeks ago. And I want it. And I
Can we
want to see
wait
it.
till rec reports up? Cause we're on park now.
But I thought this was in
Dog park is on the recreation.
Yeah.
oh,
for the
okay,
rec
all right,
report.
sorry.
Definitely. Alright. You said that Carl Rosario was next on the list for water conservation.
Yeah.
Efforts. But I assume that can't be tied into the playground update.
Well, we would like to do it as soon as that's completed. We would like to get started on that.
Okay.
We have a couple other irons in the fire that I need to hammer out first before I throw another iron in. And again, it's going to be the removal of 30 feet of turf all the way around the perimeter, kind of like we discussed in the previous meeting. And that will go fairly quickly once we get started on it.
No, I think the park and everything is great. At some point, are we gonna do like foliage?
Additional plants and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Water wise, the drip system.
Anything else for, yes?
Thank you for being thoughtful and literally pulling up and parking and setting up a table and game day.
Yeah.
Could be there.
Great.
I think next time you do that, you ought to call a board member to see if they can come down there and sit.
I mean, you did invite her. We'll say, yes, thank you for communicating that in advance and then letting us know. I said thank you for being mindful. Wherever you are, you're definitely an ambassador and it's like, this is all the good things.
Yeah.
I'm there to support Rachel and her division, and I know they couldn't make it. It was very last minute, so. I said,
Yeah.
I was gonna be there from 6 to basically shutting it down at 6 o'clock that night, so it's 12 hours.
Sounds great.
A lot of fun. Next time, see y'all come out.
Is there any way, I noticed that the chain breakage over at Barack, well, someone cut it, was over the weekend.
Typically,
That's the second time in recent months.
I would say it's become regular occurrence.
I think that is because there's nobody there yet.
Yeah, I also think that it is a particular individual, and I have not seen his rig in a while, so.
Okay,
Is there a type of chain too that would be, because if we're gonna is it better to purchase something that will not be broken or keep replacing these that are getting broken? Like what, how do we validate the expense?
We could weigh those costs, try and get a stronger chain or a thicker chain or. I mean, the chain is fine.
It's pretty thick, you know, and if you look at it, for years, we never even walked the park.
Oh,
You know, park gates were open, you know.
It's closed,
It's,
or you just left them wide open.
they were just left wide open, you know, so it's like. Hey, no matter what we do, they're gonna do, they're gonna, you know, this is just to try and keep the honest people honest.
can you please track the amount of time where, you have to wait for someone to come clean up that crap out from under the bridge?
Yeah, sure,
Alright, anything else for,
how do you report that?
3-1.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you, a lot of times when I report graffiti and like that, it gets kicked right back to us. Like it literally shows up from an email from the county to us.
but that's
I
not
said,
graffiti, that's garbage.
right, so we haven't received that email back.
Oh, from when you said.
Because they're not gonna let, who doesn't allow us to do it? Well, they're the ones that need to,
We can reach out to them direct.
I'll see about calling them on Monday.
do that, they need to give us permission to clear it out. We're gonna wait 6 months for the county to do it.
I know this is, Rachel's gonna touch on this, but this is what a great segue of how in Rachel's report, she's talking about connecting with someone about graffiti painting. Okay, perfect segue, sorry.
Moving on, we are now on item E, recreational report.
First I want to point out, I brought our newest award from CPRS. It's over at the check-in table if you guys wanna check it out. But that was exciting. Kayla and I received that at the conference, and then we also presented. I don't know if you see one of the pictures. We had a full house on a Friday last session, which was like a big deal for us. We thought no one was gonna come. So we really
We
had.
were hoping nobody was.
That's a big deal for the
A
conference.
Yeah, we thought it was a pretty big deal, because they gave us literally the worst time slot. But the other thing I wanna talk about was the dog park, so I guess before I jump into dog park, do you guys have any other questions about my board?
I just wanna say about the Easter egg hunt. How that was,
Business.
that was phenomenal. Let me look at my notes here real quick. I pulled a crystal.
Took a bunch of pictures of you.
No, I just wrote down.
Did you go live on
The
Facebook?
big crowds. The only minor thing is that missing child. There wasn't a good description. There were parents there going, well, what?
Yeah.
And he said a pink dress, and that was definitely not a pink dress.
You know, lavender.
You know, I mean,
Yes, yeah,
and why wasn't Night Watch there? I would have assumed they would have.
you know,
To me, that's something I think Dean
Yeah.
should go to when it's a major thing for this park district.
that's on me. I didn't even think about it. I, like, for our evening events, we definitely have them there for safety reasons, but
Daytime,
that, yeah, and they would have come, so that was on me. I'll make sure to do that in the future.
and then, you know, like I said, always worry, what were the two biggest lines out there? For people waiting to get things done,
Yeah.
balloon making, face painting, you know, that, I mean, I know. Were they charging us for their time or?
We pay them, but it's free to the public,
Right, but
but a pretty reasonable price.
so maybe, you know, 2 of each,
Oh, okay.
you know, just to.
Yeah, yeah,
Cause that line,
I know, it's event,
they both, you know, thank God the balloon guy was at the far end,
Yeah.
face paint,
separate,
I mean. And our little petting zoo was pretty small.
Hard to find people.
It's 4-H, so they bring the animals out for free. saves us money so we can buy more eggs.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's a 4-H group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I went over there, I'm going,
It's not like it used to be, but it is.
Right.
Yeah.
and I think that's what you spoiled us by
Yeah.
bringing the zoo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I thought it was phenomenal.
Thank you.
It
Yeah,
was-
it's been great.
It was well did.
So when is teen night and has it started?
Teen night already happened. It was a one-time program. We've done it, we've offered it differently. We've done like series of it, one time. Our last time we did it in November, we did a one time at Ridgepoint, it went really well. So we played off that. Didn't go as well.
When was it?
Last Friday. Yeah. So we had
And where was it last Friday?
Ridgepoint.
And you didn't get the same turnout?
No, we even did it differently. We partnered with Twin Rivers, of course, to see if they would sponsor 30 kids instead. Typically we just do 10. And it could be like a drop-in, because we noticed that the November one, there was a lot of kids who just showed up and then we had to like turn them away because they weren't a part of the list. So we did like a drop-in and then they,
Way, don't turn them away, I think that's.
well, we have to because of waiver and liability. And
You
they-
can't have none on site either,
Yeah.
I figure out another way,
So,
like
so,
that
yeah,
hurts.
so we did it differently. Yeah.
And then are we soliciting donations to replenish the scholarship fund?
I'm sorry.
Are we soliciting donations?
I'm currently not doing that because our scholarship fund has not gone down too much.
Well, it's gone from 3,000 to 1863.
But we still have money for scholarships. That was just the amount that was allocated in 2022. And we just go down, it was like 4,000 that was allocated to our scholarship fund. I think there's like 11,000.
Oh, so there's more that just hasn't been allocated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. And kudos on the basketball. Those numbers warm the cockles of my heart. That's old school North Highland athletic program.
Yeah.
Those kind of numbers, yes, yes, yes. And I noticed budgetarily too, we do need to find something for seniors, for teens.
I agree.
Because I see you
think
keep
that
trying, we're not
keep
getting a
trying.
lot of feedback.
Yeah, and I know I've said this before and I'll say it again, this is a common issue that every agency has, for the most part. I mean, I have connections, I've talked to people, I have my little boys club of the superintendents, and we talk about, it's only boys in our club. And it's just a common struggle. So we keep trying to do different spin-offs of things and see what works.
Can
All
I
right.
share some, it's just
Yeah.
feedback? So I shared the flyer with my teen son. And he said, this flyer isn't telling me much. What kind of games? What kind of food? Show me a picture of something. Like, it's like, you're telling me that, that you gotta paint the picture. And then my suggestion again, hit up the school district, like go to the schools during a lunch, after school, like host a session during their school day to get them and promote that. That's what I would say. The clubs, all of them have so many clubs. Let sponsor one of the clubs for their team night, like, so then they have to invite their people. There has to be a different approach to get it. And we've been having some teams come through. Have we considered when we're looking for, I think we're hiring for rec folks, maybe some student interns at each of the schools that could be almost like our representatives to bring folks in, like our ambassadors, and give them a stipend to promote or like help with creating flyers or content, like just considering some opportunities so it can be with the youth and bring folks in.
Well, they all have student bodies, right?
Yes, they.
And they all have regular meetings.
Leadership clubs, yep.
Maybe we could just, between the board and district staff, try to get up all the meetings. And put the ball in their court. So like, look, we wanna offer you guys programs, but we need to know what you want to do. Cause what we're doing is not working.
And Rachel,
ahead.
I just wanna add to your point, Crystal, and then hand it back to you. I suggest reaching out to Dr. Raja of Miracle University. He has students at Highlands High. And they already have a cohort. He sticks with them for like 2, 3 years, gets them involved in various different things. Maybe we can become a part of their calendar. Because they are required to do certain things to meet certain goals, so.
This is at Highlands.
Say that again.
It's at Highlands High School.
He has his own program, and Islands is one of, and Grants is also another one. I think he has like 2 other schools.
Oh.
As well.
What's his name?
Dr. Raja, Raja, and I will get you his contact information.
Thank you.
All right, I think that puts us on the dog park.
No,
Um,
sorry. For youth chair, just checking, were they able to perform at one of the last basketball games?
They perform at every basketball game.
It must have been the last.
They
It's not
don't
the
perform for 6, 7, they
Okay.
do it for 4th, 5th, just based on Stacy's schedule.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And then there was one more, oh. Okay, I've been seeing some posts, first, go in order, Crystal. I've been seeing some posts, and I think I suggested it some time ago, but about like an intro to pickleball, almost like a open gym situation. And I would suggest on the Mondays we don't have volleyball, offer it then, because a lot of adults have said they're interested in pickleball, they just can't make it to the 10 a.m. And I know right now it's focused on seniors, which I believe they're like packing it out, but that's just another opportunity to get more people connected with pickleball. And then I'm so excited, so I think I shared with y'all last time during open gym, we made a big announcement, like I was doing scorekeeping and then I paused the game before the last. He was like, what did he say? Oh my gosh, point, whatever the point he says. But anyway, I made an announcement, we ended up getting 2 whole new teams for volleyball. So we're so excited. Shout out to the 2 new teams, New Kids on the Block, and then Set It and Forget It, which actually broke off from our team, our Dig That team, because we're so huge. So shout out to them. And then the other one, Paint the Park, the March, was it rescheduled to another time?
We hosted the March one.
So it did happen, so it was
Yeah, that March.
February was raining or something.
It was raining February, so it got
Okay.
moved to March. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
A big turnout for that one too.
alright, you can move on to the dog park.
Okay, so, I wrote this report at the time, we only had 27 community responses, we now have 38, which, for us, I feel like is major, so people are responding to our dog park outreach. At this point, it's probably more than 95%, 95% of them are expressing interest in it. Scott, Kevin and I walked Freedom Park and played with a couple different options. I have pictures for you guys. Boxed in yellow is the outline of where the dog park would hypothetically go, give or take. And I gave pros and cons. So that's kind of where we're at right now. There's people that are definitely interested. We have 3 different options for locations. And yeah, we're gonna keep marketing it until the end of this month, and then we need to make a decision in May, budget wise, if we wanna continue or hold off on the project or however we wanna proceed.
Oh, you're up.
So I really wanna see this happen. Okay, here's my concern, so the day that Crystal and I were out there, this first option, there were a lot of people like sitting in the grass, reading books. Kids doing flips, it was like a utilized spot. And it kind of made me, it felt like a conflict of taking that particular spot away, because it seemed so comfortable, to them.
Very motivated too, yeah.
Right, but then my concern with the other 2 is the reasonable split between large dogs and small dogs. Especially this third one that's closest to the area where soccer will be going on all the time. I'm wondering if that increases our risk of anything. I know the dog owner has the risk. But regardless, it'll look bad on us, right? So I just want to put that out there. I know as a leader, most of the times it should be a suggestion. I don't have a particular suggestion for you other than I think the best option is the first option, but then I wanna figure out how we replace that kind of space for the readers and the, people who like to lay out and take a nap and that kind of thing.
And we
Did
need
you
more
guys
trees.
happen to go to the spot behind the Aerospace Museum? Check that one out?
I know.
How do you just keep walking?
Okay, I didn't know how, when he would talk about it, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, drove out there and I was like, oh.
So do you just keep bending the corner, so to speak?
Yeah.
Like-
Yes, but you could also drive, and there's a parking lot behind it,
On
well, you can see it in the picture, there's a parking lot right there, it's not our parking lot, so. Hypothetical, Scott probably doesn't want me to say this, because I like someone else, but I said it and sorry, boss. Because this one is naturally shaded, lots of oak trees, it's got a parking lot, again, we don't know. If we can use that parking lot yet, but this one was interesting because it's separated from our park. You're not taking any space away from our public because no one knows it exists. So that's kind of the con of it, is that no one knows it exists. We have to really play into signage and things like that. I don't even know if it'd be possible. But this one was interesting because I felt the same way with even this shape to me, the
Mhm.
first option, I think is just hard to even make 2 dog parks with the ADA accessible pathways, it just costs us more. Then the third option is right by that basketball court. So I'm also just wondering, and it's not the most popular basketball court, but just dogs would probably be barking even more because there's so much traffic in that area. So, yeah,
The third option is closer to the bathrooms.
well, second closest, I guess.
It's not just the
Like the
basketball court there too, the bocce ball court, the
Yeah.
horseshoe pit is there.
Tons of soft.
Rotary has got more donated money to put in a couple new tables and garbage
In that-
enclosures, right? in that
same area?
Supposed to go there tomorrow. It's not ready.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's Gateway is that you got their little activity field towards that area as well, right? Scott?
well,
Opposite sides.
yeah,
It's on the
it's,
opposite side of the school?
yeah, it's in the gated portion and in the behind the campus. Where the tennis courts used to be, I think they're putting in an AstroTurf soccer field, actually.
Okay.
Is option 2 anywhere near the property that the Aerospace Museum wants from us?
It is the
That
property.
is the
yeah.
property.
It is the property.
And I haven't updated you on that. I will probably do it at our May meeting. After a long correspondence request from the National Park Service, who oversees our deed at over the Freedom Park property. The initial answer was it can't be done. And the reason was, and I knew the reasons why we couldn't just hand it over, sell it. I mean, it's there in the quitclaim deed that we have. There's all kinds of, so my approach the whole time has been, can we do a reverse of what was done back in the early 2000s? Back then, Park District conveyed the land to this county conveyed it to the aerospace volunteers. My only thought about if this could even be a possibility, and the board supported it in a concept, was could we convey them that 1 acre to the county, then the county gives it to the aerospace. I haven't got a second follow-up from my contact at NPS. I'm not encouraged. And really, if it happens, it doesn't happen. But we did walk that space. There's some parking limitations if we can get access to the small parking lot next to it. It's a nice little grove. It's very shaded. Trees would have to come down.
Yeah, water source would be an expense, I assume.
We talked about putting fiber there instead,
Of
right,
what?
at the location behind the
Yeah,
base.
we still need to put water in for.
Yeah, the dogs and
Dogs.
Dogs behind right now. So,
And a restroom.
but yeah, for perspective,
Even
Joanna.
a porta potty would be better than nothing. But that's a long haul to go from that area all the way to the restrooms. I like that it's secluded. I like that it can accommodate separation of large and small dogs. But obviously, we're gonna incur some expenses providing water and at least a porta potty. And then there's the parking issue.
Whose lot is that?
I reached out to with Home Business Park, they're the ones that own it. Our original contact doesn't oversee the parent drive section of Home Business Park, so she's forwarded on to that team. I have yet to hear back on that.
So we're looking to lease this property?
No,
I don't know.
Oh,
The parking, I just
okay,
want permission to use it.
okay, I got you.
But the second option, that's still in not necessarily limbo, but deed and if we wanna use this space.
We can use the space for park related activities,
Yeah.
for recreation. It could be a recreation and park amenity there. There's no restriction for us. We just can't give the land away to, like an aerospace museum nonprofit.
Okay.
Unless we could convey it back to the county and the county gives it to the aerospace. As I say, I'm not encouraged that we would be able to even pull that off. And I've shared that with Tom Jones at the executive director of the museum. He's still advocating for, one more try and I'm happy to do that, but I'm talking 3 weeks to a month that go by before I'll get a response to an email to the National Park Service. And I don't fault the guy I'm working with. He's overseeing all of the Western United States out of Seattle. So he's got a big job, busy job, but sometimes I need the information so I can move forward as well.
I think we definitely need to look at planting more trees. The area adjacent to the softball complex, the area down below the basketball court. I assume, we didn't consider those areas because there's no shade. Right? The area adjacent to the softball complex, there's no trees there.
There's a couple trees, but there's
Yeah, there's no shade there. I mean,
correct.
and then below the basketball, there's no shade there either. I mean, if I had a map of, you go from where we had the horses towards the fence line of the softball complex and shoot all the way over to the basketball court, there is no significant shade anywhere in that.
Right.
It's wide open. So. I mean, because I'm thinking theoretically, you could use this space below the basketball court, but you'd have to have a sunscreen or something, a shade screen up, because there's no shade. But anyways, for what it's worth, I prefer 2 or 3.
Who will
What would
construct?
be-
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
How long do we think the build time for this would be? Like, is this something that we would have done by October?
I don't think that's a question we can answer right now. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't have a design, we don't have a construction firm that does this kind of stuff. Can we do it in-house? Finding the location and then putting together a realistic budget would be our next challenge to put in the 26-27 budget for your review and approval, hopefully. And then it would probably be a year-long project, to be honest.
I was just imagining bark at the park with dogs in costumes for Halloween. But we could still do that and use it to get more feedback on our.
Yeah. I already got my bark on it.
With the new
Parker.
state law regarding non-designated grass areas being replaced, we may want to look at smaller scale dog parks at some of our other locations. As opposed to getting rid of, and we're gonna get rid of the grass anyways.
That's a good point. And the challenge in some of our parks, like we talked about using Strezic as an option, there's just not enough shade structure, shade, natural shade at Strezic. I mean, there's wide open spaces on the west end of that park, the northwest end of that park, but there's not a tree in sight. We've looked at Memorial, where we're putting in the disc golf course, tons of trees, but the topography is not really situated to put, a fenced in area. We have options to continue looking at all of our park properties to do this, but we kind of focused on freedom and we got the community feedback on freedom.
I just think moving forwards as we begin compliance. We ought to look at what
Absolutely,
we can transfer those areas into.
yeah, eliminate out of limits.
Yeah. Anything else for recreation?
Yes, have we at least explored, if there are consultants or companies that specialize in dog park developments?
Well, from a component by component basis, we're talking, a fence contractor to put the fence up.
Okay.
A plumbing contractor to pull water from our water lines to a drinking fountain for dogs, that kind of approach. So we can be the project managers and then sub it out to the experts. But, and it's really a very simple, in certain respects, it's a simple process in that you only need a few things, but we only have one chance to pick the location and commit to the location. That's what we're looking at right now. This is why your feedback is so important.
Cheers. I was thinking.
Anyone
if
else,
they-
any
Yeah,
state preferences?
oh, like a 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. Well,
I don't wanna call it now.
Pat,
4.
Well, out of these options given, I like two things kind of out of the way in the parking, but the restroom situation is an issue. Even with one, you call it topography, the trees that are currently there, kind of like
There is a deal.
there's a little, the terrain isn't, again, that's why I was asking if there were like people that do this stuff that can give an idea of kind of all of the things that go into.
yeah. So mine was 2 and 3. Crystal's was 2. Pat abstained. Moving on, correspondence.
I have a couple of things to share.
Interesting.
Just confirming, I saw on the Freedom Park updates that the basketball court was listed. Is that a Rotary update? Is that a Park and Rec update
About for the mural.
for the basketball court?
Wait, what did you see?
Are there any updates coming to the basketball court, like
Oh.
related to Freedom Park rehab and updates?
Well, not a part of the ARPA funding, but
Oh.
Broad Room, which is a local nonprofit art group,
Yeah.
applied for a grant.
It's a mural.
For the mural?
Yeah,
for
they're
the-
gonna do a mural, yeah, but the mural won't be put down until, I believe, spring 2027. They have to do a certain amount of time of outreach, so. If you guys were at the East Street event, they were there getting feedback, they came to the last Pink Parks.
Round
and-
table.
They
They came to round table. They were looking for teams.
Yeah, so they have to do a bunch of more outreach and get feedback, so it won't happen until spring 2027.
Okay.
But I think to your question, Crystal, the focus we had from the very beginning when Freedom Park was selected as an ARPA funded renovation was the play structures and the water and the splash pad. And the play structure has been addressed. It looks amazing. The new components are there. We're getting quotes now for pieces for the splash pad that I think are going to be spectacular, some above ground type approach. It will be resurfacing the whole splash pad while we do this project, taking out some of the older bubbler type and adding things that are a little more, expansive and replacing some of the older components like those airplanes and getting new ones. So that's the focus we're on right now.
And they're doing mural, but does that also include the backboard? Or is that up to them? And are we in need of a new backboard and net? Or is that it's fine right now, they can do whatever they need to do?
Backwards looks really good. And that's we're constantly.
Okay. So, and then I wanted to just throw out a few things. Rotary has a few days, I think you said Friday, so Friday, April 10th, Saturday, April 11th, 9 a.m. They're gonna be up at Freedom Park. I believe you're talking about some of the additional stuff that they're doing. And then they have a Freedom Park Media Day on March 29th. I don't know if we know about it but we should be a part of that. And I don't know if it's a media day for.
Last month
March.
No, I said May. I'm at May 29. I'm sorry.
was
Rotary's doing the meeting.
Rotary. It's at Freedom Park Media Day and it's on the Rotary calendar. So just wanting to check if that's something we're in loop with or in line with, and I'm sure they'll probably tell you soon, but put it on your radar. And then the June board meeting that CPRS will be coming to present the award. Who else will be invited? Are we inviting our volunteers that have showed up, any of our vendors, sponsors to come to be a part of that?
Volunteers and sponsors are gonna see them.
And then, I'm so glad y'all are putting your name in the hat. That's the only way we can get recognized and let people know what we're doing. We gotta at least, I don't care if we do it every year, shoot, like, yeah, we're just that great. Yeah, other people get a chance if they put their name in the hat too. That's not our problem. But I feel like every opportunity, CPRID, STA, VA, all of them need to, we need to brag about what we're doing. And then lastly, there is. Okay, oh, thank yous. Thank yous. We have been getting so many, like, so much love from all these different organizations. I'm interested, curious, how do you all share our gratitude with them? Do we send thank you cards, postcards? Do we do our collages? Yeah, oh, any of the, even the, I don't wanna say their name wrong, Prosoko, the graffiti people that y'all, any of these people that have kind of been showing up for us.
Yeah, we send personalized thank you cards and then we do our standard recognition that you guys see. So or yeah, ongoing conversations with them. And hopefully they can send us some samples and we can test them.
If there's anything else, can we continue in other comments from board members? Because we've got a pretty full agenda.
That was my last comment, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, moving on, correspondence.
We have a letter from CARPD, the 2026 slate of board officers. CARPD does things a little bit different in that their nominating committee comes up with a list of candidates, but every other district is eligible to have people want to run for those same seats. To do that, you would just need to submit a nomination. Please email a nomination letter and a supporting board resolution to Matt Duarte at Capri. All materials must be received by Friday, May 15th. So our May meeting is one day before that. We could do a resolution if anyone decided they want to go up against these five candidates, excuse me. If the answer is there's nobody that wants to put their hat in the ring, then we just move on and wish those others best. But there is a pathway if you are interested in putting in a nomination for the CARPD board of directors.
I move that we approve the slate that has been recommended by their board, by their folks, as a board.
We actually have that as an action item coming up, and we'll be able to do that.
Okay, moving on, reports from standing committees.
Yeah, on March 19th, member Frills and I did our thing. We met for two different standing committee meetings. I'll start with the first, which was fees, charges, program fees and charges. Myself, Zach, Rachel, and Scott were present. Really, we went over the 2026-27 budget, discussed the 20% subsidy structure, cost of living adjustments, scholarship fund status, operational updates, and including the language access services and staffing that the district is pursuing. So some of the highlights, I'll just list. The fee and subsidy structure, it will remain in effect across all programs. The committee recommended a 5% cost of living increase, consistent with the adjustment applied. So for example, volleyball skills and drills program will move from 55 to approximately 58 with the subsidy applied versus 71.40 without the subsidy. So there were some concerns raised about like sticker shock, the need to study program expenditures before finalizing the adjustment. So thinking about how well the program is doing, the revenue, the expenses, and how the value, the community value. The program demand and financial context. Most programs are running at capacity rather than carrying wait lists, and community needs remain high. We are a little uncertain about what's to come with Twin Rivers sponsorship due to their raising operational costs and challenges that have come up. Scholarship We wanna share that one of the acts that we had from board member was to consider like the sibling discount or prorated amounts. And we learned from our team, our leads, that it really will cause more harm and challenges for staff if doing that. So we wanna continue to promote that they have a subsidy, that they have a scholarship, that we have opportunities for discounted rates, but adding those components will be a challenge for them at this time. We also talked about an online application system, how replacing the current paper and Excel process. And then considering some fundraising opportunities like Big Day of Giving, Giving Tuesdays, anything special like June Park Make Life Better. Like when can we plug ourselves in to get some additional funding? We talked about language as well. There's a gap in community awareness of available language translation, noting that Spanish speaking clients rarely request or receive translated materials. So potential remedies include possibly collecting with other park and rec to share the cost of like a language world service contract. So we're all using this need for translation and communication with our community members where there may be a language gap or opportunity. And then staffing recruitment is active for the coordinator position. I think at the time there were 20 plus applications that they received. The summer program, they were hiring at an accelerated rate. And then we did confirm that Chris did receive an exit interview, and Scott is adamant about being compliant on the both performance evaluations both ways. So staff will return with a final fee recommendation. Members are invited to submit feedback on scholarship programs or any other programs for that matter to the team. Any thoughts, questions, or anything you'd like to add, Scott?
No, it was a very helpful meeting. It's a perfect timing because we are starting the budgeting process. So we'll take that information and roll it up into our 26-27 budget preparation.
Is there any reason we didn't get a written report? I'm a visual.
I can provide I think I sent it in an email, like our notes, but I can provide you with this to be.
I would appreciate
Let me
it.
just forward the report that Crystal provided.
That was the lengthy one, and then I summarized, so we'll get you both. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
No, thank you and Zach. You guys have done some really good work.
Thank you. Rachel, anything you wanted to add?
I don't think so, but I guess clarity. How I should proceed with the budget.
As far as what?
Cause it sounded like you said that you and Zach agreed to increasing it, but I thought that you guys were like not really
Bringing it
sure.
back. I think you're right. I think the conversation was to bring it back to the board to see how they felt about the increase.
Yeah.
They can't vote on the.
Yeah, it's not an action item.
So I think that's where the feedback from board members, that's the request, the ask is to share your thoughts.
Is it okay if I add, is that okay?
Yeah.
This is regarding, and I brought this to the subcommittee last year and then to the board, it's just that. We had a fee that we made back in 2022, then we created that subsidy on it, and we had not adjusted fees at all. And so I had suggested we increase by 5%. Our programs are at such a low cost that 5% is, $3 to $5 at max. And I just brought it to the subcommittee again, just because I wasn't sure if that's the direction you guys wanted me to keep moving in terms of prices are very different from 2022 to 2026. So I brought it to the board just as like, I don't know if that's just maybe best practice moving forward of just recognizing where our fees are. I'm not pro or con it, it's more just like informational. But we did raise our rates, all of our youth and teen programs, just youth and teen by 5%. Last year. So we did it already. And then I brought to the subcommittee. If they wanted me to do it again, I brought an example of it. So just give a little bit more feedback on that.
It's hard to gauge with Twin River subsidizing so many kids in a program, but if basketball is in the indication, clearly 5% didn't happen. If you have a program that people want, they're willing to pay for it, and we're still on the low side compared to a lot of districts.
Yes, yes.
So your question would be, you did it last year, should you do it again this year?
Yeah, like what would be best practice moving forward? And, I wanna be obviously very, respectful of our community and the financial needs of it, but. Where's our part of like ensure, we know we're not gonna necessarily make money on a program.
Right.
Thank goodness for Twin Rivers that they support us and sometimes we do. But that's not what our mission is, but is there. I guess sometimes I look at it as like, we are so grossly behind, like, for example, Sunrise is our next door neighbors, their basketball league is like 130, I think, ours is 78. And that's our highest paid program for youth and teen.
Their demographics are quite different.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but it is just kind of one of those things where like, there's pros and cons, right? Like we rent our building rentals lower than pretty much anyone else in the area, but we're constantly renting it out.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, our program, it's give or take. If they really want the program, they'll pay for it, or they'll apply for the scholarship. If they don't have an interest in it. they're not
Well,
interested.
So
Go ahead.
is it just semantic? I was intrigued by you saying we're behind. Versus our program costs less. So tell me what that thinking is that's going on that like, oh, we're behind
Well,
another
maybe behind isn't the right word, but like,
Okay.
we are priced
much lower.
Well,
much lower
Okay.
than surrounding areas.
So my next, like, I guess I will direct it to you and to the subcommittee. With the increase in so many things that we know is coming down the pipeline, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to really feel it in their pockets. Like, do we have some kind of contingency fund, or is that like our scholarship fund where we're thinking ahead, like there may be an increase of need for scholarship or support coming up like the next school year because everything is going to be more expensive or something like that. So that's less a you question, Rachel. Now I guess that would be more of a Crystal question.
Well, we brought that up. That was one of the comments. But when we were assessing again, comparing, contrasting, considering demographics, or it just was just far, just a big, yeah. I feel like it, and we also offer so many opportunities where they can get discounted rates. So we're still keeping the subsidy, the scholarship program, 100, so that's kind of where we made it make sense for the reason to increase because of the differences in other districts.
I think since there was no increase, you said since what, 2022?
Yeah,
we
so
did
we
increase
did
25%
increase 25, 26.
Right, that's what I said, but you didn't 22, 23, 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think 5% was appropriate last year because there had been no increases for so long. Doing 5% a year might be much, maybe go 3.
Okay.
And my experience is you could do way more revenue in volume than you can when you charge more.
Yes.
Okay, so if you charge $70 for a program, versus $100 for a program, you can do way more revenue with volume if you keep your prices down, especially in our type of demographics. I mean, I know that firsthand.
That's the Walmart model.
Yeah, and my only other question is, this preventable challenge, I don't understand, if you have 4 kids at home and 2 of them wanna play in the basketball program, why you can't charge the first student at whatever you're charging and the second kid at $10 less or $5 less. I don't understand why that's such a overwhelming challenge for staff.
Why not use the scholarship account though, where it's 50% off? We already have something there.
And each child gets.
But is it too taxing on our scholarship program?
Well, if the board were to approve or direct staff to initiate a second or third child discount, it would have to come out of the scholarship fund. We can't make discounts on public funds, on our tax money. So it would certainly have an impact on the scholarship account, but we've talked from the beginning, when we started making changes to the scholarship account, that we would need at a certain point, and Joanna brought it up a little while ago, we're gonna have to have a sustaining campaign for our a scholarship.
But if I understand Joanna's question right, and it was a question I had too, why is this so taxing on the staff to do it? Like I'm thinking in my head, like when like Eventbrite, where you buy a ticket, right? And so they say first ticket $35, and it'll say like second student $25, and then you put a one there, third student, whatever, $20, you'll put a one there, and that's seamless for it's just a startup cost for whatever program that you're gonna use, but that's a way that it can alleviate strain on the staff.
And using the scholarship fund, in my mind, that's not revenue. That's money we already have stashed away. I don't know, I think there's a separation for me in scholarship fund for low income versus discount rates for multiple enrollments. To me, those are apples and oranges. I have families that are not financially challenged. I mean, except for the fact that they have 3 or 4 kids, and they've got bills to pay, no more than you or I or anybody else. They don't need a scholarship, right? I mean, they have the money, but if I give them a break on their tuition, the first kid is this, the second kid's $5 less, the third kid's $5 less than that, and it doesn't fall below 3, they're gonna enroll all of their kids in my program, and they're still gonna be able to do basketball, swimming, scouts, violin lessons, Japanese school, whatever. It's just they're getting a lower rate for multiple, enrollments. To me, it's different than I'm low income, I've got 4 kids, and I need a scholarship. Because I have no discretionary funds for my kids to do anything. I mean, I don't know if we wanna. I understand what you're saying, but to me, that's a loss of revenue when you offer the scholarship fund to a parent who's got lots of kids or wants to enroll in lots of programs. Because that's to me it's different. I don't know if we want to relook at the criteria for scholarships. I know we didn't want to get too nosy, but to me it's 2 different things. And when you have a parent who's got 3 or 4 kids and they want to get them enrolled, let's say in that after school program and the basketball program, you give them a $5 discount here and you give them a $5 discount there. I mean, every little bit helps. And like I said, I think you do better with volume. So I'm just throwing that out there. I just don't think it's that challenging a practice. And I don't think we need to use the scholarship fund to just offer a multiple discount. I mean, Jesus, even at Winter Schnitzel, you can get 2 for $6. It's a discount. That's all it is. It's a discount for multiple enrollments. It's, anyways.
Well,
that's all
as I said, ultimately, it's a decision the board makes to say, figure out a way to implement this. And no disrespect, and I was looking at my notes as a review. The challenging part of that discussion was the prorating of fees. And Rachel made a point that when if we're offering youth basketball and team A has a full squad and team B has a full squad, but team C and D have a spot each, we will, right up to the very first game, we will allow a child, a parent to enroll their child well after the deadline. We are very flexible in that respect. We want to fill our program. We want to make sure kids have an opportunity to play. But there are some challenges that once a program starts, and our programs are start date, finish date, as opposed to an ongoing monthly, much like Joanne's business.
Yeah.
So, but and I brought up a scenario where so team A. Okay, they got their 8 kids, and there's probably room for 2 more, but they practice 3 times before their first game. They get their uniforms. They're all kind of getting gelled as a team, and then a kid comes in after a game or 2 and says, "Oh, I'm on your team now." That can be a little bit jarring for the coach and for the other kids saying, "We've been working for 5 weeks now."
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
It doesn't apply to clinics.
No, not at all. No. And if there's a program that is a viable option, we would certainly do that. We are very, very flexible as a team in making sure we get as many kids as possible.
No, yeah, I totally understand about the team play. The whole thing was Crystal's kid was enrolled, got really excited about the program, talked it up to his pals. Wasn't Dad one of the volunteers for the program? He brought the 2 kids. that wanted to play and were willing to pay. But they were sent away because there was no prorate offer, or I don't know what the deal was.
They missed the deadline.
They missed the deadline. Those are the situations we were talking about. You know,
Right.
over a technicality.
That was what I was just talking about as well.
Right,
Where
but-
if the deadline is, 4 weeks before the first game, and then the games start and a child, a kid, oh, my buddy, said that you have youth basketball, can I join that team? I think
team play is restrictive. I would agree with that. But if we're talking a clinic, or we're talking open gym, or we're talking,
No, I understand that.
then I think they ought to be able to come in late.
Okay, can I just I don't know, I don't remember the example that you shared, but just for clarity. There's often times that we let a child enroll late, we do not offer a prorated fee, and the reason, the example I gave to Crystal was, for example, our basketball program. Yes, the numbers might look good, but we actually lose thousands on the program. And if you think about this program, it's $78, there's 8 practices and 7 games. We have to pay referees, officials, scorekeepers, the staff, because we can never get enough volunteers, and shirts. So if we prorate a fee even more, when it's already subsidized by 20%, that's my issue that I was expressing to Crystal, is that we're already losing money on a program. Again, I'm not here to say that I'm trying to make us millions of dollars, but we are already losing money on a program, and we would have to lose even more money. We'll let people join, sign up late, if it makes sense. Like Scott was saying, sometimes there's a point where you're like, I can't join basketball like 4 weeks in.
Right.
But the example I gave to Crystal was, again, like Scott said, it's totally up to you guys, but my example was, this program's already subsidized by 20%, and then we subsidize it even more because someone's signing up late. That was the example I gave.
Yeah.
So, just for clarity.
Well, 2 things. One, I think that team play definitely is restrictive, letting people come in late. And when we're talking numbers like this, 84. Yeah, it would be tragic if a kid wanted to sign up and miss a deadline and couldn't do it, but 84 is 84. I mean, at some point you say, program's closed.
Right.
Okay, but that's not what we were talking about, right? What was the program? It was basketball.
I'm not sure which one, but there's like times.
When your husband took the 2 kids because your son had talked it up.
I don't remember times, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
But
This is a
but
great,
even like the, for example, like the one that that hurt a lot was when we did the Father's Day Nerf Day battle. And there was a dad with their kids that came, they were like, no, you hadn't already, like, you didn't register, like, that was like, oh, we all playing right now, like, we can't.
Well, if we
But-
can't
but
do
then, like,
registration there, because we
exactly.
can't get on, we didn't, like, we
Yeah.
don't even have it, we didn't even have a computer at Cape Park
Yeah,
at that
that's
time. So there are certain restrictions, technicality wise, where when I
Right.
show up day of and I can't get you enrolled, because I physically can't get you enrolled.
So we're not gonna tell you, but I hope you understand the circumstances that we are saying once in a while that come up. If it's, your whole report was serve the community and don't be so restrictive and don't, this and that. And if we're turning a kid away on a technicality, then see what we can do about the technicality. If we're turning a kid away just because they missed a deadline, then let's see what we can do about
But
it.
I don't turn kids away because they missed the deadline. I just don't offer them a prorated fee.
Pay the full.
But there's like, I would say 99% of the time, I make exceptions all the time, even with the
Mhm.
scholarship. I'm like, oh, it's the day of, okay, let's get it figured out. I turn people away. Actually, I don't think, I've hardly ever gotten to ask if the fee would be prorated. But I don't turn people away, it's just that I'm not offering a prorated fee. Is that what you, I
That's
just
fine.
wanna make sure
That's fine.
that it's clear I'm not like.
Yeah, if they're a week
kicking
or
people
2
out.
after the program starts and you charge them the full fee, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
this has been a great robust conversation. I do have to point out, Rachel has a childcare issue. She has to leave at 8 p.m. at the latest, so.
Okay, is everybody okay if we move on then? I know Pat is.
And the other standing committee was personnel and policy, I'm making it real short. Thanks to the leadership of Kale Foss.
I was just gonna say, can we cover it when we get to it, because it's on there, unfinished business item B?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Consent calendar. Target specialty. Chemical supplies. There's a lot.
Yep,
Oh, is that you?
Mhm.
What is it?
it's herbicide and pre-emergent and indicator.
Weed killers.
Yep,
Okay.
and weed preventers.
Are we at all environmentally friendly with weed killers? Are we just rounding up everything?
No pun intended, right?
Yeah.
It's the greatest chemical for efficacy.
And it's
It's the best.
Gym bleacher?
Say again?
Gym bleacher?
We annually, we have the bleachers at K Park inspected and lubed and all that kind of stuff.
So that's a service?
Yep.
And then website scheduler? Actually, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. OpenAI, Golden Hills, Stick Mule, ProCare, Zazzle, Starlink, OTC, Canva, Pacific Storage, Adobe, Microsoft. I assume some of those are the subscription fees for computer programs.
Yes, a lot of them are the ones that I recommend.
Baseball or basketball shredding programs. Website scheduler.
That's streamline.
Oh, website.
Which is
Well-
streamline.
Yeah, this is the US bank account. We all have our own district credit cards. So Terry is trying to outline all the different things that got paid for
Right.
from multiple card users. So shredding is when we shred our documents that are eligible for shredding.
Oh, there's a comma there.
Yeah, programs, website, we pay Streamline every month. So a lot of different things get charged to our Cal cards. And this is the most concise way we can show you in kind of broad strokes.
Got it.
Starlink is the Wi-Fi system out at K Park. So yeah, I'm happy if you have these questions prior to a meeting, I can go over every account that we pay for out of with our cards. What's
Anything
that?
else? Can I get a motion for the consent calendar? If there is
There was, on the meeting agenda, we confirmed, Anthem Blue Cross,
I'm sorry.
for the Anthem, is it the Highland Zero, is it Anthem Blue Cross or Blue Anthem?
Anthem Blue Cross.
Anthem Blue Cross. There was just an edit under recreation quarterly report to swap that. I move that we approve the consent calendar with the comments and remarks provided by the board.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. And Rachel, kudos to you and your staff for the revenue you generated. A lot of your programs way over 100% already. Good job.
Thank you.
Give it up for Rachel, everyone. Give it up for Rachel.
All right, moving on, unfinished business item A, Westwood monthly update. I don't know if you guys compared last month to this month, there wasn't a whole lot. Scott, the one Scott just gave us has more dates on it.
I just told Scott, I'm just hoping we don't have to replace the sign at Sierra Creek as it gets faded out, that Prop 68 by the time it starts.
Well, I hope your takeaway is that, especially on the report I put on in your spaces there, Karen, the draft of report she gave me was she was going on vacation, so I asked her for something that I could put in the agenda packet. This came to me just a couple days ago, so I wanted you to see the most current updates. The changes are
Bye, thank you.
The changes are subtle on item 1. What wasn't in the draft report, the county review is scheduled to be completed on April 13th, which is this coming Monday.
All day.
So, the fact that some of these dates are turning over much more quickly is encouraging to me in that site improvement plans we used to wait 2 months for. We submitted in February and now we're getting review or sent documents back on the 26th, and it should be done by next Monday. We'll get the final comments hopefully on the site improvement plan. On item 3, and the attached letter, which wasn't in the draft report, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, their determination of our stream bed alteration agreement is due to us in late May, which is about a month and a half from now. So that's encouraging, and we'll get that turned around. They have a strict schedule. They have to post the stuff for public consumption, but once those things are all taken care of, if they approve it, then we can move forward again. She did slightly adjust the projected schedule in that the contractor bid is now May and June of 26. So next month, we're hoping to be ready to go out to bid for a contractor to build the park for us. And next month, Karen will be here either via Zoom or in person to present a more detailed update for you.
Any questions? Okay. Moving on, unfinished business, item B, policy revision 60506060.
Before we get into that, Personnel and Policy Standing Committee met on March 19th. Myself, Zach, and Scott were present. We really reviewed the remaining 6 policies. I really want to applaud our chair, who really went through the entire binder, all of our policies, and went through to kind of set us up for success to complete this task. So we reviewed policy 6040.1, rental provisions for permissions and advance notice. We're really noting there needs to be some flexibility and staff discretion based on the implementation. 6050 annual review, our annual fee review. We agreed that we should conduct a biannual assessment of our facility rental rates, which will in line with our budget timeline, and then surveying our neighboring districts' rates and how their costs are changing. Policy 6063 facility use. 50% plus 1, and there were outdated limits that we're going to re-revise. Policy 6080, 6090, 6090.8, liability indemnification and permits were also discussed. Plus, lastly, policy 6100, building use rules and regulations. I will share those with y'all, and then the ones that are in specific, 6050, we talked about that already, and 6060, the committee flagged 50% plus 1 resident attendance requirement, and the 3 events per year gap is outdated and limiting. Originally written to manage a high volume of free facility requests, these provisions no longer reflect current community programming need, and the policy will be rewritten to allow broader access with administrative discretion, which is listed here.
Okay. So your recommendation on 6050 and 6050.2 is ensure annual review of policy 6050 fees and charges is incorporated into the budgeting process starting fiscal year 26-27, and direct staff to conduct a biannual survey of neighboring district facility rental rates and associated costs for comparison. Add use of credit card to 6050.2. So the meeting is annual,
Let's keep
but
it
you're
to
directing
annual.
staff to conduct a biannual survey.
Let's keep it to annual. Can you make the correction, Scott?
No, it says annual
The second line, the third line says biannual survey of neighboring.
of staff, not the board, not.
Yeah, no, the committee's recommendation is twice a year that we reach out to neighboring districts and see what they're charging. We could do it once a year as well.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were, I was just confirming that the committee is only required annually to review fees, because I thought we had already fees and charges, wasn't that quarterly?
Fees and charges should be meeting quarterly, yeah.
The committee meets quarterly, the standing committee meets quarterly, but the request is for staff to review annually.
So you want staff to ensure that there's an annual review of 6050.
Oh, that's how listed, yes.
Okay. So can we just add staff?
And then the same thing though, the survey, should that also just be annual instead of biannual?
No, I'm fine with biannual.
I think annual is good enough.
Sufficient.
I mean, yeah, do we think other areas are changing it within their fiscal year?
No, we,
Can we
So
please-
maybe once a year.
Yeah.
no, just go annual.
Annual for.
Okay, so not biannual, annual.
Then adding staff. and stuff.
But what I'll do is bring back specific language in May. It'll show up as a unfinished business. It should be a quick review.
But we
And
can just approve it with those changes.
okay.
Right, so can I have a motion to approve the change contingent upon the changes that we've mentioned here tonight? So he doesn't have to bring it back.
So,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. So yeah, just make those changes and you don't have to bring it back.
You got it.
Thank you.
You'll find them in your box within the next month or so.
Okay, 660.
Yes. It's about our free use of district centers and facilities, and as you can see. He's broken down what the changes will be. And what the next steps are.
So can someone elaborate? Like, give me the basics. What is it and what are we proposing to change to make it better, easier and?
660 was put in place in the previous administrator's term with us. There were a lot of requests back then for free use of the community center, rec center. Larry put together a policy that had some restrictions. We've talked about them over the last several months when we get a request for free use. The ones that stand out would be application timelines. It was the free use was contingent upon serving North Highlands residents primarily, and including taking a role or a sign-in sheet that had to address 50% plus one of North Highlands residents to be considered for a free use of the building they were asking for. Fixed schedule limitations. The approach that I brought to the committee was to simplify. It's a page and a half of very tight. It's a lot of information. The spirit of it is very, very accurate and very important. But I just want to bring back to you a more concise, less restrictive approach to request for free use of our facility.
There was some language about like free use day and like the people that use this space, how they contribute to North Highlands community and I think it really is his discretion because we were getting folks from all over. Impact Org was bringing folks from South Sac and Natome, so.
Well, and some of them have programs that are somewhere else in the county that they're trying to bring and bring awareness to by using our facility. Okay, so.
Yeah, I would have to think that if they're coming to us for use of one of our facilities, it's not because they've checked everywhere else and we're the cheapest, it's they really want to get the message out to our community.
Yeah. Okay, so board members, upon board approval, staff will develop administrative procedures consistent with the revised policy. Updated guidelines will be communicated to users and staff. Fee schedules and internal processes will be aligned as needed.
So that's going to require, a rewrite that I can bring to your attention.
Yes.
We can do a mid-cycle between board meetings and, or I can put it on as an unfinished business item in May, and it'll just show the wording of the new revised policy.
So
and Scott, you would still be bringing these to the board meeting every month, right?
There's 4 more to go, yeah. There are 4 more policies.
No, I'm sorry. When there's a request for free usage, will you still be bringing that to the board?
Well, that's a good question, Bo, because the policy as it reads now, authorizes the board to give the discretion to make the decisions to the district administrator. I've always opted to include you in every discussion for free use.
we like them coming here and telling us
Right.
about their programs or about their events. I still kind of feel like if they're not willing to come to a board meeting personally, then I'm not inclined to give them any freebies. And that's how I
think
feel
that's a
about
good
it.
approach too, so.
And some of them have written letters of like if they can't come, there's a
Right,
conflict in
right.
the evening, they've communicated other ways.
Yeah, it's much like the process we use for fundraising events in the community center. They pay, but they have to have board approval because they are charging, folks to be there as a fundraiser. Yeah, I can include that the board will weigh in as well as the administrator.
So can we make a motion to approve the next steps in revising policy 6060?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So yeah, just keep bringing it back.
Just leave them in, yeah.
New business, CARPD elections. Do we want to do anything with this? We're gonna approve, is that what you wanted to do, Crystal?
Yeah, I made the motion earlier, yes, you said to say it, so, I move that we approve the proposed slate for the.
Sign board.
For the five board members for the CARPD elections.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Thank you.
New business, item B, resolution 654 mid-cycle contingency transfer. Scott, the only thing missing here was, where does that leave us?
It's in the summary. We have $152,000 remaining in contingency. We're asking for a transfer of $63,100. That would leave us with $88,900 in our contingency account for the last quarter. I hate this. Well, it's always our goal to try to bring it to you one time a year,
I know.
right in January.
This is our second.
This is our second, and Kevin has already highlighted through questions during his park report that we found stuff when we pried open that roof in the community center that we didn't know about.
Right.
And those are serious electrical issues
Yeah.
that need to be addressed. We just don't have the funds right now, in our various accounts to cover that.
Now, I completely understand the wiring on the roof, and I totally get that. Streetsec, on the other hand, like, why did we not find this until an inspection? Are we not? Because I know previously there was like a monthly inspection. And you had your team rotate around and inspect certain things at certain times.
We do, and so what we were speaking of the Cape Art, or the previous.
Streetsec, yeah, okay, Bart?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why didn't we catch this?
Because we didn't know that the Zinsco brand is a frowned upon brand any longer. It's not an official recall if you Google it. But they're nobody will install, they don't have manufacturing anymore, it's out of business.
Well, I'm guessing it was installed by the military,
Yes,
who's going cheap.
and so this is not something, unless you were an electrician, that you're gonna see and notice. I mean, you're gonna look in there, breakers look fine, but they have a tendency to weld together, which is.
Are there any other boxes out at Cape Art?
No, that's the only box with Zinsco in it at Cape Art.
Okay.
We are now currently going through Strezic as well. In fact, Larry and I were just there 2 days ago, going through that building
Okay,
for a separate reason, but we were gonna be doing that as well. It's likely that that's probably at the same time frame getting this old community center in.
my only other concern would be the softball complex, because that too was built by the military.
We'll get into that.
And I don't necessarily, my personal opinion is that shouldn't be the tenant's responsibility, we ought to at least.
So infrastructure would be on us.
We did make significant upgrades to that facility in 2017 when the former contract holder moved out. And before we brought in a new vendor, new lighting went in with our partnership with SMUD, a lot of irrigation. We did a lot of stuff to upgrade and get those buildings back to a safe and usable condition. And we do have we have a good line of communication with Lance and Stephanie in that if it's things that are related to their operation.
Right, I know.
For example, if a sprinkler head gets busted, they
Right.
fix the sprinkler head. If a water main busts, we fix that. It's infrastructure. Infrastructure's us, day-to-day stuff is his.
All I'm saying is it might be worth checking,
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
the fuse panels. It just might be. Cause I'm sure we didn't replace all the wiring.
No,
Yeah, and that's, I'm just saying, it's the military vehicle.
And then the second part of our request is, we got the contract, now we need to spend some money to get ready to run an aquatic program that, we couldn't necessarily make the assumption back at budgeting, time last year to, that we would be getting this contract, so.
What do you think,
Go ahead, Bo.
what do you think the ROI gonna be this first year return to aquatics? Looking at the amount that we are, investing. You said.
Twin Rivers is subsidizing the program dollar for dollar.
Perfect. That's all I need to do.
So we spend and reimburse.
Correct.
All right,
Um,
put that in next time, that's good, that's a very important point.
on the organics refuse at K Park and the Corporation Yard, is this gonna be an annual $6,000 a year?
Yeah, we're gonna increase that. I mean, I'm playing the green waste at our corporation yard. For a year, we're kind of testing it out. Instead of hauling, trailers worth of green waste to the dump on a regular basis, having those people out of the field at the time. Now we have a container at our yard, we're just transporting it there, filling the container, and then they pick it up.
So is it like a dumpster?
Yes,
Oh, wow. So that's gonna be incorporated in your new budget?
in the new budget.
That's a one time,
Say again?
that's.
No, it's annual. It's a new annual expense.
For 6,000.
That's 6,000? So price comparatively, what's the comparison between hauling to the dump and all that?
So
Yes.
what I'm testing and what I'm trying to factor in is the amount of time that these guys are gonna be out of the field, so payroll, fuel for those trucks, hauling all that stuff back and forth, instead of the dumpster being for other.
You think it's saving you time and money?
I'm hoping it's a big time.
Okay.
The 6,000 is a one-time request to get us through the end of the year, but this will be incorporated. You'll see in the refuse line item, it's gonna go up by at least 6,000 next year. So we won't have to deal with this.
The bill's only 1,300.
But we have 3 more months to
I
go.
know, I'm just, that's why there's 6,000 in the brought it to you. The bill is only 1,300 and some dollars.
What
With all
bill?
the stuff he's doing.
For the organics, the new system?
Mhm.
So why 6?
There's 3 months left in the year.
Because when he started it, the bill was 2,000 some dollars when we put all that in. And then that's why we were already over at $1,900.
So the 6 is just to get us through the fiscal year,
Yes.
but there's still gonna be an increase calculated in
Yeah.
the budget for this.
For next year, yeah.
Okay, so the difference,
I would just say put 1,500 times 12,
okay,
and we'd be fine.
okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. Anybody have any other questions regarding any of the contingency expenses?
I wanna talk about that, like, I'm pro approving this, but with the number breakdown that you just gave. It's $18,000 annually. Ooh, you're gonna have to really show that that's a savings, like, when I heard 6, and I was thinking 6 annually, I was like, okay, I can definitely see that, but 18,000 is a lot.
But we don't know if that is an increase or comparable to what it's costing now, because now there's so many variables, there's staff time. If they're going to the dump, then they're not working out at a park.
No, I'm
gas.
with you. Like, but I was thinking 6,000, I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely see that. But 18,000
No, I agree.
over a year is like, okay, we really need to see that is saving us something.
And the green waste is the only one that I'm really testing. The organics is a must.
Right.
That is required for Jamie Darkhorn to operate that facility over there. Which we didn't have before, so we incorporated that in. Anytime you serve food, you have to have an organics.
I just may have some questions later on.
Sure.
Yeah, that's hard to break down.
Is that waste management, like who's the?
Public service.
Public service. And we didn't have this before, a dumpster, or any like the green waste, garbage, we didn't have that at all.
We have garbage for no green waste.
They were hauling it.
We're hauling it to the dump, and that's an hour and a
Well,
half each time.
you're saying, when you say no green waste, we didn't have a bin or a receptacle or a contract with them to collect
Correct.
from the yard.
Right, they just let it pile up in the yard till the dump run.
Okay.
Yeah,
And as you know, I do not like
There's service in four places too.
Okay.
And for perspective, we can take a bag of trash to the county, to the dump, it's $50.
Yeah.
Minimum charge. And then the heavier the load, the more the charge goes up, so $50 starts to add up very, very quickly.
And Terry, you just shared, it's not just for this one location, it's four.
It's 4 different.
The 18 for the year is for 4 locations.
Yes.
Is a little bit more.
It was bigger shop.
Cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Change.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 654 for 63,100 for the maintenance divisions and rec division.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Chair, what would you propose, or what would have been more favorable for you with this?
It's easier for me to, well, I would have waited probably until the end of the fiscal year to impose the new bid and everything, but other than that, you're always, whenever you do a project, it's a domino. I don't care if it's your residence or it's a building like this. And so I'm not surprised that when they started doing ACs, they ran into a problem. And same thing at Cape Art. I mean, we went through all kinds of inspections and surveys of the Cape Art facilities when we, in the talks to acquire it. Because the primary concern was military doesn't have any code enforcement. They just build whatever they want to build. They don't have to worry about it. And so in taking over the buildings, part of our concern was how much are we gonna have to spend to get this up to code? You know, so that it can be used by the public. So that's why I just say,
And reduce our liability.
I will say that, and this will be in my report for next month. I had a very, very productive meeting yesterday with the lady who is super advisor for SMUD. Spent an hour and a half walking Cape Art. So it's likely that we'll see a lot of rebates and potentially financial aid from SMUD to do some projects like that.
I wanted to find out how the park software is going.
Actually, going very, very well. I have a staff meeting with my leadership tomorrow morning at 10. Where we will discuss, we've created out of all of our park inspections and playground inspections, we have 35 active work orders. And that's just on the low end of what we could really do if we were really winning. So we're gonna start knocking out, and some of them are really low hanging fruit, some of them are gonna be budgetary items for the next fiscal year to take care of. I'm really enjoying my team's getting it done. I can see minute by minute, or I shouldn't really say that, hour by hour, where they're at on their inspection and which parks they're in. And
they're transitioning to this kind of accountability and
yes, they're on.
call.
Now those are going out every single day. The great thing is when deficiencies happen, it requires them to upload pictures, so I know exactly what it is, and that translates over to people.
You haven't had any connection issues
No
or anything like that?
No.
That's great. Chairperson's report, Celebrate North Highlands is in the planning phases, always looking for volunteers to help put it all together, be it vendors or food trucks or entertainment. I don't know what else there is. Hope everyone had a good spring break, Easter holiday. That's all I've got. Crystal?
Happy birthday and anniversary to all those folks in April. And work anniversaries. Can y'all please update the display board at Cape Art? It still says Celebrate North Highlands 2025. I believe. We should say the 2026 one now, so if we can. Impact Warrior is hosting their Autism Festival at Liberty Towers on April 18th from 12 to 3.
Oh, good, they found it.
Okay. The volleyball folks would love for y'all to give a look at the gym floor. Some of the tape is coming up and peeling back. And we really need some type of different coloring to outline the volleyball structure. Calling those fouls and like outs have become more challenging for us, so if you can look into that. And then last but not least, I've been seeing so much coming up for adults playing. If Rachel can consider doing something in the evening for adults, a pop-up at the evening, adult night out, adult play day, something.
I wish they'd bring back the Saturday.
What was that? Tell me more about that.
There used to be a Saturday night volleyball.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, because my organization had a team.
Let's start with church.
Yeah, well, it ended up being like a church league because there were,
Towers Church League.
yeah, because there were
I was
churches
not-
involved.
I was
But we
not-
were playing, we weren't a church.
Well,
And we weren't the only team that was not affiliated with a
I
church.
played and I wasn't in the church.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member, but they were using their site, is that what you're saying?
We were at Ridge Point.
Oh, at Ridge Point, okay.
Yeah, on Saturdays. And it
Yeah,
was great because we all got off work Saturday afternoon, we had time to go home and chillax and grab something to eat. And then we go play volleyball at Ridge Point, and it was great. We had like, I don't know, four or five teams. Maybe more.
Well, church might have about 10 or 12.
wow.
Yeah, it was great.
And my
But
last.
we can't play on Mondays.
Oh, my last comment about. I'll just reach out later.
You can reach out whenever you want, Crystal. And the response is probably gonna be extremely positive.
Well, let's hope so. But thank y'all so much for the opportunity to serve on this amazing board. There was the one thing I wanted to talk about that it wasn't important, it wasn't tied to the policy part, but we were talking about doing a retreat, but given the board's recent progress in strategic planning and improved cohesion, and improved cohesion, I underlined it. A formal retreat was determined to be less urgent at this time. The possibility of a future strategic planning session remains open. When if new board members join, but we were thinking about doing maybe just a go ride along, check out how our parks are, to see it as a group. And but again, we are really proud of the direction our board is going in, the relationships that we're fostering and building, so there's no need for a retreat.
I second that. Yeah, and I think we've all pretty much declared what our priorities are. And staff has been great bringing on projects that have come up, and then they've taken the reins and followed through on it, so I would agree. I second that emotion. All right, anything else, Pat?
No, I'm good.
No?
Yes, happy April. April is National Volunteer Month. So please get out. There's a lot of things. The weather's getting better and better. Each weekend seems to be quite beautiful. So just look into your neighborhood, look at your churches or other community groups, and take a little bit of time to volunteer this month.
Oh, also, Memorial Day Parade is being planned. It's open to the entire county of Sacramento. They're looking for volunteers, they're looking for floats, participants, vendors. I believe there's information online.
I thought I saw John post some.
Yeah, but it's, I know it's on the Facebook group, but the group that's sponsoring it or handling it, is Angel something, angelswings.org. They're the ones who are the actual coordinators for the event.
Is the district slated to be a participant at this time?
I don't know.
We've kicked around the idea of trying to put a float together, but we just don't, I don't know if we have the time or the infrastructure to do it.
Don't we already we got gingerbread houses and Santa and sleigh, I mean, come on, we could bring back the old stuff, we already have a float.
Santa in July.
Yes!
Why don't you get your toe volleyball involved in that?
Why?
Do a sports.
Or more of
Like
this.
that's for the post,
Yeah, sports float.
Santa's busy in July.
Okay.
You must know Santa.
I'm gonna run into him every now and then in the bar.
Yeah. All right, guys, I adjourn this meeting. The time is 8:28.
Just a reminder, I'm out of the office next week. Rachel and Kevin will be acting administrators as needed. And I'll be back on Monday